Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had Beauty and the Beast, Part 1. Secretly, although not really secretly if you have to look at the titles like I do. Sorry. But not the point. Last time, we did have Beauty and the Beast Part 1, where there was a troll, and she was like, yo, I'm gonna take over Camelot. So she used a potion to make herself look beautiful. She seduced Uther, and then became the queen. And Merlin tried to do something, but it didn't work. And he tried to stop the wedding, but it didn't work. And now we have a new queen of Camelot. Yep, that's it. Yeah. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, it is not in this video because of copyright reasons, but you can go down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video, and there'll be a nice little link. It should say Merlin 2x6 reaction highlight. You click on that link, and you will find my reaction. It will take you straight to my 10-minute highlight reaction with all the edited, footage in the corner and stuff like that. Of course, if you would like to do a little bit more than just watch the 10-minute highlight reaction, you can go over to my Patreon where I have full-length reactions for just $5. So, yeah, that's pretty much that. With that being said, let's get right into this episode of Merlin. Here we go. Man, that was a very interesting, funny, dramatic, and downright disgusting two-parter. You know how last episode I was like, oh man, for a part 1, I sure am writing down a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes on this one, on part 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 notes! I don't normally take that many notes for a normal Merlin episode, and this is a part 2. Hang on. Glasses. I always find it takes me 5 minutes to clean my glasses because the first time I try using my shirt, it just doesn't work. I think we're just gonna have to make that work. That was gross. It was goofy. It was dramatic. Actors were put through the fucking ringer here. All of them. Morgana still only got like 3 lines. I guess more than she did last episode, but even still, Katie McGrath going overtime on her just background acting. Hold on, it's hot in here. It is hot in here. I need to turn my fan on. Alright, sorry. I was just realizing that, last week I had to pause in the middle of the discussion because it was hot. And I had to pee and stuff like that. I felt like garbage. So, let me get some air circulating. Cool. Alright. That's the thing about my computer. My computer is basically a mini heat generator when I record or edit, which I do almost all the time, so. That was an interesting two-parter, I have to say. As Merlin's first two-parter, that worked. That definitely worked. It was just so gross. And I don't know, man. Man, like almost every actor put through the fucking ringer. You know what, though? This seems like the episode that they would have a blast filming. Like, more than any episode, this seems like it would be fun to film. You know? Uther, Anthony Head, he got to do something different. He got to play just a fucking idiot. Just a happy-go-lucky fucking idiot. They got to act off the troll makeup a lot. They got to act off of the idea of being next to a troll. And they also had their dramatic acting in there. This... It was an interesting two-parter, I have to say. For a two-parter, as goofy as this was fun. I liked it. You know what's interesting? Last episode I kind of talked about Doctor Who two-parters and how, normally in Doctor Who two-parters I don't write as many notes per episode, and they don't title it Part 1, Part 2, so I never really know when they're going to come up. Something interesting, though, the first two-parter that was in Doctor Who, the aliens in London and World War III, those also had repugnant, goofy creatures that farted a lot. Is this a thing with the BBC? Is this like the rite of passage for a BBC show? Is their first two-parter has to have this foul, disgusting, farting enemy? Maybe, I don't know. Like, seriously, do they do that with every BBC show? If I went to, like, Sherlock, would they do that? What are other BBC shows? I don't fucking know. Downton Abbey? Is that BBC? I would assume that's BBC. It's British. Everything British is BBC, so probably. I don't know. Guys, tell me if that's a rite of passage for BBC shows. I'm legitimately curious now. Now that I'm sensing a pattern. Let's just get into our notes. Accusation. I wrote down accusation. That was interesting. Just immediately going into an accusation against Merlin that, he stole her, like, family crest or whatever. And so that's what gets Uther to hunt down Merlin. That's how she was going to take care of Merlin. That was interesting. I did like that. Put down supply and the potion. Yeah, cutting off her supply to the actual potion. See, I thought they were just gonna, just destroy every potion they have, but switching it out was clever. So that was interesting. I wrote down the tax. That made sense too. The taxing the poor even more. That rhymes. Even more than they had before. That also rhymes. Because, a troll wants, all this gold and money and wealth and power. She's got the power, and, I mean, she has the money of Camelot, but she wants it all to herself. So, the only thing is, you would think they honestly wouldn't do that, because that only gives you money in the short term, Because eventually, if you start starving the people are going to fucking rise up. They are. They're going to rise up against you. So yeah. But that was interesting. And, Uther just imposing that tax was interesting. The fake potion, that was clever. Swapping out the potions and, Gaius having to work all night to figure out how to make something that smells and tastes exactly like the potion she had, but just not have any magic in it. That was very clever. And just the long list that he had of just everything he put in there to make it just the most foul thing. And then he made Merlin try it. That was hilarious. Merlin really got shit done in this episode. It's like, I don't know. It's like there was... I don't know. I was like, I don't want to say it's like there was an air of, like, confidence. I mean, like, there kind of was. But, there were times where, he would be thwarted in whatever he was doing. But it's like, I don't know. There was something about Merlin this episode. It was like, I guess just because he didn't screw up. Like, he didn't screw up. There would be stuff like, okay, the enchantment just keeping that hold on Uther or something like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like Merlin was very competent this episode. And I like that. I like that Merlin was competent. It's... I don't know. Let's see. Questioning Arthur. I wrote that down. So, I guess this is sort of like a remedy to cure all ills when... And actually the first episode, The Curse of Cornelius Segan, with the whole thing of, we brought in this new character, and they're going to upstage one of our main characters, and then we're going to go against our one of our main characters and stuff like that. I guess they kind of pulled the same thing again with Katrina and Arthur, because, she came in, and now as the queen, and now, she's going to be the heir to the throne and stuff like that, and she's having Uther question Arthur and stuff like that. But the difference is that this is all because Uther is under her enchantment. If he wasn't under that enchantment, then this wouldn't have happened, So yeah, questioning Arthur, I mean, that's rough, buddy. It is rough, Yeah, I wrote down Uther and Arthur, Arthur questioning, because, I mean, Arthur has questioned Uther in the past, but it's never gotten to this sort of level of severity, where he's, saying, get out of my sight and stuff like that. Like, it was nothing like that. It's never gotten that serious, but that's the thing that, we have to know. It's like, okay, well, that comes from the enchantment that is over Uther right now. It's pushing him to that because Arthur is questioning both him and Katrina. Mainly Katrina, I guess, honestly, because, all of this is brought about by Katrina. So the fact that he questions not only Uther, but also her, that does cause just that incredible divide between Uther and Arthur. So yeah, that's interesting. I wrote down heir to the throne, which was also interesting. We're actually blasting through these notes a lot faster than I thought we would. Yeah, heir to the throne. That is like the line that Uther should never cross, basically, where he just straight up disinherited Arthur and named Katrina as the new heir to the king, which is interesting. That is definitely interesting, and and obviously, like I said, this is all because of the enchantment. Uther would never go that far with Arthur, but they do. Now I have to say, and I should have brought this up, the sort of, even though yes, this is all because Uther is under this enchantment, and that's why he's pushing so far against Arthur. The interesting thing, though, is this is still sort of based on Uther's ideologies, He does believe that, the people are his subjects, not his friends. Arthur views it as, well, why can't they be both, So that's the thing, is that is still Uther's philosophy on that. He's, they are there, the people are there for my benefit, and they will follow my orders to a T, and I will not tolerate any sort of insubordination. Whereas Arthur, which has been established throughout the entire series, and this is supposed to be, this is like one of the points everyone even brings up about Arthur, is that Arthur is a good man, which is interesting when you think back to episode 1 and how Arthur was introduced. Like, the fact is he actually did come a long way with this. It's like, no, he cares about his people. He does want to be their friend, honestly. And it is sort of one of those things where it's like, oh, well, you are their king. And it's like, you are their king, not their friend. And it's like, honestly, it needs to be like, he is their father, basically. He will, guard them and protect them and feed them and nourish them and, give them good lives. That's the thing. And it would be interesting if they, actually started maybe saying that specifically. But they say it well enough here with saying, oh, well, why can't I be their king and their friend? Why can't they be my subjects and my friends? So it is sort of the same ideology. But yeah, it's like a king, the most successful king, the best king is a father to his people. That's the thing. Uther is not really a father. Well, I mean, I suppose in the same way he's a father to Arthur. He's a tough father. He really is. And yes, again, it is this enchantment that he is under, which is why he pushes the people and he pushes Arthur. So that was just interesting. But it's all still based on his philosophy about this. Which, when we, 2 episodes ago with Lancelot and Guinevere, when it's like, well, Guinevere was captured. Arthur, even if he wasn't in love with Guinevere, he would, move heaven and earth to find, one of his people, basically. Uther wouldn't do that. Arthur would. Even if, it's like, well, even if he wasn't, in love with her or her friend, he would still go do that because that's just the kind of man he is, So that's the thing. Let's see. So yeah, heir to the throne, disinheriting Arthur. I mean, that's all from the enchantment. That is all from the enchantment. So yeah, it's crazy, man. The enchantment that wore off. Well, not the enchantment, but her potion wore off, and she was exposed as a troll. Exposed to the knights, exposed to Arthur and Gwen and Morgana, and just that scene where she's really revealed, and the two of them are freaking out about this, and Uther's just there, she's beautiful. See, here's the problem, Gaius. She's annoying as shit, but she's so beautiful. Whatever. So yeah, that whole scene, it's a hilarious scene, and especially the juxtaposition of the reaction from Arthur and Morgana and the reaction from Uther, because they're just so opposite. And I literally wrote this down in my notes. He fucked a troll. He fucked a troll. I didn't think they would. Didn't I say last time, Uther's not going to be fucking a troll anytime soon? He fucked a troll, and he remembers it. And you could say, well, it was just a kiss. You could say it was just a kiss, but he picked her up, slammed her on a bed, and then kissed her. He fucked a troll. You don't do that unless you're about to fuck the person you're doing that to. It's just like what other context is there to picking someone up, slamming them on a bed, and then kissing them? There's no other context to that. Uther fucked a troll. And again, this had to be one of the most fun episodes to film. Like they had to have been laughing every fucking take. This, it's just so ridiculous. That's so goofy. And then not only do they have that, but then they just keep going with they're having dinner. They're having dinner. Twice, they have 2 different dinner scenes with her as a troll, just eating the shit out of shit. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And the poor knight. This poor, like, second in command knight or whoever, like Arthur's right-hand man when it comes to the knights. This guy who has to sit there and watch her eat shit and watch Uther, like, just embrace shit. And again, you know, what I said last episode, if you get control of Uther, Uther's a scary man. That is a dangerous man to have under your control. And he said multiple times, the next person that insults Lady Katrina will be executed. That's how far the enchantment went. That he was willing to execute Gaius, the knights, Arthur, Morgana, everyone. He was willing to execute anyone for this. And then it cuts to the dragon. The dragon laughing his ass off. Laughing his ass off about this. That Uther married a troll. I do actually love that. I love just this dragon laughing his ass off about this. God, that was hilarious. This whole two-parter, it is hilarious, dramatic, goofy, and disgusting all at the same time. It's incredible. It is so incredible. For their first two-parter, this is actually pretty solid. And then, okay, to break everything, to break the enchantment, they had to fake Arthur's death because it was the only way for Uther to cry remorseful tears. Interesting, very interesting. I mean, basically, to break the enchantment, you know, that keeps him so enamored with this troll, it's like it needs to draw out the love he had for something else. So the only way to do that is to fake Arthur's death, which was very cool. You know, they did the whole thing, which I swear I see this on like Arrow and stuff, where it's like, you know, we'll slow your heartbeat to a crawl to fake the death. You know, it's the same thing basically. And then, you know, Merlin had to go try to get the antidote. Luckily, you know, he did get as much of that antidote off the ground as possible and then just sort of squeegee it into his mouth. Nobody put that in your gay fan fictions. Merlin squeegeed the antidote into Arthur's mouth. Ugh. It's very wet. Ugh. We're not doing that. No, stop it. We're not. Whatever you do, do not put your Merlin and Arthur gay fan fictions in my comment section. Not on my Christian Minecraft server. Oh God, we've gone off the deep end in this video. We really have. So okay, faking Arthur's death was very cool. And then we actually had a fight with the fucking troll with Katrina. We fought her and she kind of held her own for a little while. You know? And Jonas came in. I like we killed them. I'm so glad we killed them. You know? Like, alright, let's get rid of them. And, you know, Jonas gets out the knife and it's like... And just, Arthur kicks him and, you know, stabs him and stuff. It's like... Yeah, you forgot you're still dealing with Arthur fucking Pendragon. You know, the greatest warrior to ever live. And then, you know, Merlin... I love this too. I was like, you know, is Merlin actually gonna like... Is it time for the blow-up spell? And it's like, oh no, there's everyone here, though. And it's like, well, you know, he moved the carpet, or the rug, and she slipped and fell. And Arthur, without any hesitation at all... stabs her through her, like, her stomach, basically. Just straight out, cold-blooded murder. And it was amazing. And even that, They made goofy. Merlin made murder goofy. Think about this. Because as soon, like, he drove that in, and he's like, okay. And then she just kind of got this look on her face and just let out this, like, one last fart of fuck you. And that was that. You know, I mean, they say you fart when you die, but I think she forced that. And then, here, I actually didn't write it down. I kind of meant to. The last thing I wrote down was just that dinner scene between Arthur and Uther. With fucking Uther mortified by this whole occasion. And I love Arthur. Arthur is definitely going to be trolling him on this. He is literally going to troll him on the fact that he fucked a troll. This is how trolling was invented. But see, little do you know, back in the Middle Ages, trolling was invented by Arthur Pendragon. Well, okay. Let's be honest. For as long as there have been humans on this world, there has been trolling. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But this is where you get that phrase. This is where you get the phrase. What a goofy but really interesting set of episodes we had. You know what? I like it. This was fun. I had a lot of fun with these 2 episodes, and I'm very curious as to what we're going to do next. Yeah, I think that's pretty much that. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.